Good morning, ladies. Welcome to How to Make Patches and Labels with Your Embroidery Machine class today. And one of the reasons I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about it is that this is one of my favorite features, because you can make perfect shapes, ovals, squares, all a crest, several different designs without using your software. And I know that some of you don't use your software, some of you don't have software, and I am the person who loves to figure things out on the machine. And it took me 4 years to learn the icon, which is fine because I enjoyed every minute of it. And it was a very quick learn on the icon too, because things were so similar. And that's the same way I feel about the Applique 3. It's very similar to the Icon 2. So you will fit in just fine. But that one feature, that Shape Creator and Applique Creator, is unique to both of the machines. However, the name is different. That's all. So I'm not really sure what it's called, but is it Design Creator, Terry? I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Or, oh no, it's Create Shape and Create Applique, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, same difference.
And ours is Shape Creator and Applique Creator, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I am going to start with my little tablet here and show you what I'm talking about on the Icon 2. Now, Anna, you have the icon, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then what you'll have to do, Carol and Terry, is find approximately on your screen what I'm talking about. But let me point out, you have to be in embroidery mode. So if you guys aren't in embroidery mode, then select it. You don't have to have the arm on, but it does help because then you can embroider right when you're finished. But you can play with embroidery designs without the arm. So that's a nice thing. You just can't continue to embroider. So go into embroidery and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let me do a couple things. I'm getting real lazy rolling back and forth in this chair. All right, spotlight for everyone. Okay, here we go. So there's my screensaver. And I'm going to close this because I am in the process of stitching something. So if I go, let me see if I can go over here to the icon. It's very similar. You'll be fine. You won't get confused. All right. So this is the icon. And there is one of the free designs that I made for you. I'm just going to save it under my patches. And that's a whole nother class. Dakota. Now, another thing that got me going on this is I have to make my granddaughter a quilt with her brownie and daisy patches, and I wanted to make a label, so I figured, well, I'll do 2 for 1 here. So that's another thing I'm working on. So I am here up in embroidery edit screen, and for those of you that are experts at embroidery, a few of you have come to mind. You know that the difference between the embroidery edit and the embroidery stitch out is that you can alter your design on the screen. You can rotate it, change colors, make it smaller, make it larger. But once you send it to stitch out, there is nothing more you can do. It's basically locked. Now, my embroidery stitch out doesn't show because I don't have anything on the screen. So what I need to do is go into my cloud, and on the icon, you still have a cloud. On the 2, you have a folder. And then I'm going to open up my patches. And I have a couple of them here, and I just want a plain simple patch. So I am going to bring up this. There it is. All right. So then that one's small enough that I can go into the 120 by 120 hoop. Okay. So right now, if I were to do anything, I would take my applique creator or my shape creator, and it's in the embroidery screen. But I wanted to put something in there so you could see them all lit up, because embroidery stitch out wasn't lit. Shape creator, when you roll over to it, it has just some basic shapes. And this is on both sides of both of the machines, all three of them actually. And then you should have some dingbats, which I've used the least, but I did use one this time. So then when you call up a shape, so there's my circle. What it just did is it took the circle I had on it and wants to put it in that circle. So one of the most important things is, and I'll go over this over and over and over again, is you do not want anything selected on the screen. So now it just rolled over and it has that one shape. So it's a mess. And how do I get out of a mess? I delete everything. And you probably do that more than once. Okay, so when you see I delete everything, there's nothing on the screen. So that's why all of these are grayed out. Okay, so basically that's where you find it. Applique creator, shape creator in embroidery edit. All right, so everybody should be okay with that.
I'm not.
Go into your embroidery edit.
Okay,
And
okay, Adeline. How do I get there?
do you have your manual handy?
Yeah. I
If you
do.
ha- If you have your manual handy, design, shaping, maybe. The terminology is different, that's all.
There's a triangle and a circle to hit. In the Epic, it's the top one.
You have
Is that at the school?
okay, let me see if I can find the Epic 2, right? The Epic 2 manual.
Do you want me to calibrate this because I have my arm on?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that message will still be up.
Did her screen look like yours?
No, I'll show you my screen. Depending on your machine, this screen is like Anna's screen.
What machine are you on?
I'm showing you the icon right now, so I got to switch it over to the icon too. Okay,
Oh, okay.
that's all right. I knew this would
Okay.
happen, but I got
Just
3
not-
different machines. So basically,
Yeah.
all I need you to do is find some symbols and icons. That's all.
Yeah, I'm on load shape,
Okay.
right? Okay.
All right. Okay, the Epic 2 manual. If you have the manual, it
I do.
is. Okay, let me find it for you. Embroidery. It's got to be in the embroidery section. And it's design shaping. And on page 120, it appears to be in the manual, according to this. What did we do without Google? Okay, let me see if I can find 120 here. Did you find the page yet, Carol? There it is. Design applique, and it's also called design
Well,
shaping.
Mine says resize on page 120.
In the manual?
Yes,
All right, go back.
in the
Go
user
to-
guide, right?
No, the manual. Go to,
Oh,
one,
on the machine?
well, it's on your machine, no, but the book.
I have the book in my hand and 120 was different.
It's like a 200+ page.
The
Hang on,
book?
hang on.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the screen. Let me
Well,
find
mine's only, it's almost 179 pics. And here is embroidery,
Yeah,
edit, overview. Is that what you want? Edit, overview?
hang on, I'm looking.
Internet.
Okay, so what I need you to do is it's here, right here. Okay. Now I'm trying to find the symbol. There it is. Okay. I don't know if that works. Oh, that's not it. Okay, I found it. Okay.
That's all.
Epic 2. All right, now let me get back to my Zoom screen.
Recording in progress.
I see design shaping and design applique,
Right.
which is
Wow.
22 and 23. That's down at the bottom.
Hang on. Let me see if I can find the my share screen. No, that's not what I want. Okay, there's one thing that I wanted to share. And Epic 2 is the other. Wherever it is. Here it is. All righty. So can you see
Okay, I
this?
found the circle.
Can you see this screen?
Yes,
That's your screen, right?
I
Right here?
found all the circles. I
Okay.
found the circles, the hearts, the stars,
Okay.
the
So
letters.
then you're on this symbol up here in this corner, right here, that little flower. Is
Yes.
design, that is your design applique. So when you find that, you tap that and it opens up the screen and this is what it looks like.
Oh, I have a heart on mine.
And it should have a heart, star, yeah. Should look like this. Okay?
Well, I have the circle, so.
All right, good. Right now, that's all you're going to need.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So I've got to make sure that everybody's in here. I think so. Did we lose anyone? No. Okay. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna turn off some lights here because it's too bright.
No, you're fine.
Maybe that will help. Okay. All right, so now I'm back on the icon 2. And I've got it all set up to show you how to stitch it out. That was my point I was going to get to. So let me go back to embroidery edit. Okay, so this is one of my first patches that I made. And what I did is I made a circle using Applique Creator. And here's Applique Creator right here on the bottom. Right here is Applique Creator. Can you see that, guys?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then next to
Yeah.
it is a star and a circle, and that is Shape Creator. So we're looking at the same symbol of a little flower that is the icon for the Applique Creator. So right here, I'm trying to make sure you all can see. Right here. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
When you tap that, another screen opens up. And what you see now is this design because I'm currently working on it. So what I have to do is I'm going to finish just this part here so I can show you, and then we'll go from there and we'll start fresh. Okay. When you send it to your machine, after you're done checking everything, there are some basic steps you have to follow. So what I did, and I'll talk about the stabilizers and all that other stuff shortly, is it sorted everything and brought that adventure awaits up first. That's because I had it in that order. So in order to change all of that, I have to go back out. And this is an important point. I have to go back out to embroidery edit to rearrange the sequence. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have to get a microphone. I'm going to invest in one of those headsets and then I don't have to yell at you all. But if I go up into the layers panel right here, you can see that that design is first. I don't want it to be first. I want to move it down below the applique. So when you start putting these patches together, you have to make sure your sequence makes sense in the form of embroidery. You guys, I don't know about Catherine, but I know the rest of you are experts at machine applique. The first step is what?
The outline.
Yep.
The outline.
Placement line.
Placement
Mhm.
stitch. Right. So the first step is the placement stitch. And then this is what I wanted to talk about. When you create, this is all done in the machine. Okay. So the first stitch, there it is. There's the placement stitch. The second is the tack down. The third is the satin stitch. They are all black. It has been programmed in the software for a stop, just like on the Platinum software with my Sonnet. Then I now go to the adventure awaits. Okay. Lastly is Montana. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I made this patch. Okay. Everybody is still with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So in order to do this, I have to go out and go back to embroidery edit. I then have to delete this, but before I do, I want to see what the size of this is. Whoops, so I want to make sure that everything is, the grid is on. So I have to do one thing here. You're going to be confused because yours is different, I'm sure. I am going to go right up here to this gear. Wherever your gear is, find it on the screen. On the icon, it's down here on the lower left. Find your gear. It may not look like this, but it's similar in looking. Go to the gear, change machine or select machine, and change to inches. See where that inches is? Anna, do you need me to show you on your icon?
I'm looking.
Okay, go into the, find the gears,
Yep, I'm there.
tap on
Unit,
machine at the top.
I
And
found
change-
it. It said units and millimeters and inch.
Yep. So
Okay.
pick inches.
Okay.
And then my epic ladies, are you guys doing okay?
I'm
I'm
just
following
watching.
you.
You're gonna just follow, okay.
I'm just following you.
All right, so then you're going to find the inches and then you're going to say, okay. Because it's much easier to design in inches. And then you'll have to remember to change it back to millimeters if you're stitching, because it makes more sense for us for sewing in millimeters and designing in inches. Okay, so now I look to see what size that is. The size icon is a little box that goes up to the right, and then I'll show it to you guys in a minute, my epic people. It's 4 by 4. So that's the circle that I want to create, is a 4 by 4 circle. In order to do that, I am going to select a bigger hoop. But let me delete this. And it's deleting one at a time. Delete all designs, yes. Okay. So the first thing I want you to do is pick a bigger hoop. 260 by 200, 200 by 200. So I'm going to pick, even though you don't own it, doesn't matter. I want you to pick it. A 200 by 200. Okay. Then I want you to go into your back into your hoop options again, because I forgot to tell you, I want you to turn on your grid. And I want you to change it to 0.50. So if I change it to 0.5, oops, 0.5. Oh yeah. 0.50. Okay. It is now a 1/2 inch, and that's exactly what I want. Okay. So select hoop options on your machine. Pick quilter's hoop 200 by 200. Change the grid to a 1/2 inch and hit hoop options again to close it. All righty. Now I'm coming back here because I want to talk to you a little bit. So I'm going to remove my spotlight and all righty. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm going to have you all turn off your sound. Just mute yourself. And then I'll stay up on the screen if you just mute yourself. Okay. Are we good? Do you see me on the screen? Yes? Is that a yes? Okay. All right. I have the texture hoop. The texture hoop is 150 by 150. Some of you have the fabric hoop because I think Terry talked to some people to buy it. I don't know. Was that you, Terry? Yeah. Just shake your head. Yes. All righty. This works great for anything that's just a little bit over 4 inches. Your 120 by 120 is perfect for anything that is a little bit under 4 inches. So you just have these two options. But the point is, if I use and pick the 120 by 120, it will not let me make it any bigger than 4 inches. The size of the hoop ultimately determines the largest applique design you can make. So if I want to make a little bit bigger one, I'm going to pick a 240 by 150 or the 200 by 200, because the largest size I can make is an 8 by 8 inch square. I guess you could make a patch that big, but typically a patch and a label is not that large. Okay. So that is one point that I wanted to cover, and I'm going to make sure that I write down these points because I'm going to highlight them when I get to the video. So the hoop determines the size of your patch. So don't design unless you want a little bitty one. Do not design in a 120 by 120 hoop. Always design in a larger hoop. Okay. Now, I want to show you something that I made for my grandson to learn his name. He was probably 2 years old when I made him this pillowcase. And I made it intentionally so he could learn his alphabet and learn to spell his name. These were all made on the 360 by 260 hoop. So if you want to make, let me put the pillowcase back. He needs a new one, but he doesn't. Okay, you're going on the floor. Get it. He needs a new one, but I don't need to. What I need is to make one for my great niece because she doesn't know how to spell her name yet. So here is my 360 by 260. So ultimately I can make a huge L, you know, big, like a 10-inch alphabet. All right. Now, here's something that I wanted to show you that I thought, oh, that would be simple to make. So I'm going to share my screen. And I know that a lot of you, I'm going to turn this one off. Let's see. I don't need that one anymore. There. Can you see that, Lucky? Yes, can everybody see the Lucky banner? Nod your head. All righty, that's Shabby Fabrics. Do you guys follow Shabby Fabrics? I know you do, because I think some of you have said something to me about it. This is a free pattern. This is the free pattern. Okay, so I can use this. This is a real size. The only thing is it's backwards. But my point being is that I now know the size of those letters. So along with shapes and dingbats, you can also make letters. So let me show you how simple it is. Very simple. Okay. Okay, now I gotta, let me turn this, stop sharing this. And I'm going to go here and spotlight for everyone. Alrighty. And I am going to go back into Applique Creator. And this time I'm going to choose the alphabet. So within Applique Creator and Shape Creator, we have not only shapes and dingbats, we also have the alphabet. And when I tap the alphabet, I get this screen. So if I'm going to make an L, I tap that and there it is, already done. Already, it instantly fills in an outline with a satin stitch. If I close this and I open this zigzag stitch with a dotted line around it, a dotted circle, it opens up to over 20 pre-done autofill stitches. And I can change this just by simply selecting them. And it automatically changes that last stitch out. Now, let's see how big this is. So if we go into Edit Applique, we can see right now, when I select the size, that letter is 4 inches wide. Remember, this left to right arrow, it means width. Top to bottom arrow means height. Okay, so it says that it's 4 inches wide by 6. And then when I measure the paper, now you know you can make these banners for just about anything if you can spell it. So I have 2.5 inches wide by 5 inches tall. So these letters are all 5 inches tall. So if I want to change it proportionally, I leave the lock on. That symbol, the lock, means it will change it proportionally. If I tap unlock, now I can change them independently of each other. I'm going to tap this. My little calculator comes up. I'm going to tap 5. And then I'm going to tap this. My little calculator comes up 2.5. There. And now I just created the L that is similar in size to that banner. So that is very easy to recreate them if you have a pattern which gives the sizes. When I made the pillow, I didn't. I just created the letters and figured out how big they needed to be and just stitched them out. It went real fast. Okay, so that quickie lesson is how to make an applique letter. Now, if I remove the applique, which is what I just did by hitting the delete button, I have turned this L into a raw edge applique. Okay, now let me zoom in on that picture. I gotta roll across the and zoom in on that picture. Oops. Can you guys see that? If you look at this L, what she has done, and she's got a whole video on this, what she has done is she has stitched the fabric on white felt. So she has a square piece or rectangle piece of white felt. She takes the fabric, stitches it onto the white felt, and then does a placement stitch and then the tack down, trims the felt, and then goes back after and pinks it. And that's how she gets all of these letters. Now, you certainly could draw it out on your stabilizer, Heat and Bond Light, Wonder Under, anything like that if you wanted to. But I am going to actually make it with my machine. I make the batter and put on my fireplace. Okay, the only thing that I was missing was a clover. And I had to scan that clover in the software and do a real quick, oops. Do a real quick, can you see the clover? No. Placement, tack down, satin stitch. Now, if any of you want this, I can include that in the free designs. Because I'd really like you to play with the alphabet as well. There's so many things you can do. You can just, it's amazing. Okay, now I'm gonna stop sharing and now we're ready to work. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete the L. And let's go to your machine. As long as you can hear me, you should be able to do this. I am going to, of course, do it on the screen, but as long as you can hear me, if you have any questions, unmute yourself and then ask. Otherwise, I won't know you have any questions. Okay. So what we're doing is we are going, is this, nope, it's not. I gotta spotlight my screen. Where am I? Okay. Step 1. Open up Applique Creator. Step 2. Select the shapes icon and load a circle. There it is. That's all you do. Okay. Now, step 2, resize it. It's because we use a 200 by 200. Mine is 6.299, so 6.3 by 6.3. I am going to lock this padlock now and then put it on 4. Tap 4. And it resizes it to a 4-inch circle patch. Okay, you have just made your first template. And then you hit OK. So now you have your circle, a 4-inch circle. If you look at the layers panel, number 1 is your placement, number 2 is your applique, and number 3, that means your tack down rather, oh, excuse me, and number 3 is your applique. Let's say I want to change this because I'm going to make it pink because my granddaughter loves pink. All right. So now I'm going to select pink on my screen. I have to change it here. I'm going to add a lot of pink, less black. Okay, a lot of pink. There's, and I can, there, now I got that bright pink. Okay. And I hit OK. Now, you'll notice that this is selected still, and so is this stitch out. I deselect all of them, and I'm back to the screen. Okay. Anna, did you figure out how to do it? Do you want me to show you how to change the color? Did we lose Anna?
I'm good. Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sorry, I can't figure out how to get my picture on there for you to see me, so.
Oh, just click on the lower left and on the video, and you probably have it with a red line going through the video camera. Just unclick that.
Now it just says stop video. And I got easy video settings.
click on that and you should be on the screen. Let me see if, yeah, it shows, right now it's showing me that you're on.
Yeah,
I don't know.
me neither, so I'll figure it out later.
Yeah, I know what you look like, Anna.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry. All right. Now, we are going to make this label only because this label, this sew label, is a beginner label right there. That's a beginner label. And let me see how big it is. I can't find my little, I have a 6-inch ruler here somewhere. So this one is 3.5. I'm still going to go with 4. Okay. Now, what I want to point out is this. These are 2 lettering fonts in our machine. Okay. This one, so, is that large, what's it called? Ellipse, I think. And then this one is either Bell or Pouty or whatever. And this crown is from the mini designs. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. So, my Viking ladies, you are going to pick a font. Surprise me. Just pick a font. And you actually, my icon ladies, you don't have to use the same one that I'm using. You could surprise me too. All righty. So now what I want to do is I have my applique. It's 4 inches. My patch is 4 inches. I'm going to select A. And I am going to go down through all of my alphabet and I'm going to pick ellipse 40. I'm sorry. My keyboard pops up. I am going to type SEW. And there it is. Fits perfectly. Okay. However, I need to move it around a little bit. To get out of this keyboard, you just tap the keyboard again, right over here in this corner. And then Anna, let me make yours real quick. Let's see what size it is. Okie doke. So Anna, you just have to hit OK.
I got it. Thank you.
Got it. Yep. There it is. Now, one of the things I want to point out is all the lettering fonts have a predetermined color. The only way you can change the colors is through the artist palette. It is predetermined in the software that ellipse is going to be this tealish, bluish color. So doesn't matter. You can change it. Does not matter. All right. Now I want to just slide this over. And you'll notice that I am using the grid. Let me show you right here. See the top of the box? I am using this grid to line up my box along that grid line. That's why you want a grid line. This is the move icon, and I can slightly move it. Now, if I want to put it in the middle, I can. You all know how to do that. Just tap the middle. And now it's in the middle. So I have 0, 0, but I want to make sure that it's up. So now I can just use my fine tuning and move that up and put it in place. Okay, so my coordinates are 0, 0, and then 0.433. All right. If I were to tap A again, it would change my sew to whatever font I picked. So deselect it, pick the font, and now I am going to pick, I don't know, let me try Howdy. Oh, special, uppercase S, and then the rest in lowercase. I don't like that. Move this over a little bit. I don't like that. So now let me try times. Whoops. Oh, golly. And there is that. I don't like that either. Now, if I were to go back to this special, I want to delete this special. I don't like this one, so I'm going to delete it. And I go back to this one, I can long hold on it, and that smart toolbox pops up, and you can embroidery edit your text. The screen comes up, and now I can pick without having to start all over again. When I first did this, I found that I had all of this one word in all these different sizes and shapes. So now I just change it to what I want. And I don't like that either. And let's try block. All right, I gotta move this around. So I'm gonna close this. And I'm gonna close this. And I'm gonna try block 10. Well, it wouldn't let me edit it. Come on. I'll go back to edit text and pick. So I have to show you something. All of these boxes are pane. This is a pane. So if I want to see this little white box with the arrow, I can tap that and it turns into floating icons. So I can float this one right up here. I can float this one here. And then I can close this and see if that gives me more room. No. All right, let me try again. Hey, where are you? There you are. Let me move this around. Now you can see better, right? And I don't like that size. I'm pretty sure that's the one I used. And although I don't know now that I look at it. And maybe I used graphite. That could be it, except I used all uppercase. So do you see how I'm playing around with it just to get what kind of look that I want? Well, I gotta spell it right first too. I have done that more than once. Actually embroidered it and changed it there. Okay, now look, guys, this is just my example. You can make whichever one you want. But I am going to delete that one. So I have to go down here to delete. And then this one here, I'm going to put right here. And if you are not familiar with the icons, this one here is rotate. And I can rotate 90 degrees, or I can tap them one at a time and just rotate it till I get the look that I want. And if I wanted to, I could even make it larger, but I'm going to leave it that size. And deselect. Okay, so now I want to bring in my little crown, and I go into the flower or the butterfly for your designs on the icon. And I'm going to select mini. And there's my crown. I'm just going to tap that and put my crown right there. And if I want to, the one thing about the mini designs is you can make it larger and that's 20%, or you can make it smaller by 20%. That's called scale. Now I'm done.
Adeline,
Yep.
does that work on both machines?
I'm not sure if
Viking.
you have the minis, but I can send you, there might be something that you could use. I can send you the crown if you wanted to do that. But
No, but what you were doing,
what?
is that sort of like what I have on my machine?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the steps?
Yeah. I made some on the machine. I made some patches on the machine.
Okay.
Okay. Yes,
Mhm.
so it will work. So now what I want to do is lastly, before I even hit stitch out, I look to see if it makes sense the way it stitches out. So I'm looking at my sequence. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my edit and I'm going to make sure that each one of these is in the spot that I want it to be. If not, I kind of change it, move it around, fine tune where I want the crown, and then I close it. Then I go over here to my layers panel. And right now, the circle in its entirety is first. So is second, special is third, and lastly, the crown. And it's highlighted because it's highlighted on this screen. I can group all of these together quite easily by going select all and hit group. And now I have one design. Now I can move this design all over the screen anywhere I want because it's grouped together. Does everybody understand group and ungroup?
Mhm.
Unmute yourself if you don't understand what group versus ungroup is. And I can show you the difference. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, you know, my good old trick, I just hit the center. And now I know that I can stitch that out. I'm going to switch to 120 by 120. And I'm ready for a stitch out. Okay. Let's talk about stabilizers. All righty. Because this will make a difference. I prefer, and let me move my tablet right here so you can see what I'm talking about. I prefer when I'm doing badges or patches rather, to use a dissolve away. Like you see here. Okay. This is dissolve away max. And I also will have dissolve away plus. We do have multiple rolls of smaller dissolve away, but with a max or the plus, you basically only need one layer. With the dissolve away, you'll need a multiple. Now, the max, I tested it, and it looks like I did okay. It's pulled away from the stitch out here. That's telling me that I probably should put 2 layers of the Dissolve Away Max. All right,
Adeline,
now, go ahead.
that's just that clear film look.
Yes,
Okay, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure. Okay.
the stuff that looks like a dryer sheet,
That you put on top of, this is the one you usually put on top of towels when you're doing.
no, this is not the topping.
No, okay, it's different. Okay.
It's a separate, heavier weight, water soluble stabilizer right
Okay.
here. Okay, and it
Okay.
does completely dissolve in water. Now, when I did my research, there were a lot of places that said to use Badge Master. We don't sell Badge Master, but it's just like this. Badge Master is just like this stuff. Okay, so Badge Master is the name of it. It's like Kleenex. Some of you might buy Kleenex. It says right on the box Kleenex, but we buy store brand, whatever the store brand is, because Kleenex is more money. And so we buy the cheaper store brand, even though it works the same. It may not have the smell or the softness, but I don't care. So do you understand my analogy between the stabilizers? That's what gets people in a mess. No show mesh, whenever I say no show mesh, they understand what I'm talking about. But as soon as I say whisper web mesh, power mesh, or something else, some people are lost. Okay. Now,
So Adeline, are you saying that the Dissolve Away Max and Plus is like a generic to the Badge Master, whatever it was?
yes,
Okay.
it's actually the same thing. It's just put out by the FOF Corporation, the SVP, it's called.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Now, this is that topping that Anna was talking about, and that topping is just, it's not firm enough. You'll need like 4 layers of this topping. So I don't want to encourage you to use the topping. And then I have a sample of the Max. And as you can see, I was able to only use 1 layer of the Max for this coffee label right here. Okay, so that's the one I did there. So the coffee and the So Special are the same. And let me get this. In how they are the same is they're easy. I call these my beginner patches. You make a shape, you bring in an alphabet from your machine. This, I ungrouped it so each one moves separately. I put one here on an angle. I put one here on a little bit of an angle, rotated this a little bit, rotated that. And that's how I came up with that coffee love. We have coffee cups, and I am willing to bet that many of you do not know we have all kinds of coffee and tea designs in the kitchen category. And in the Epics, you have martini glass, a beer bottle, a wine bottle in the kitchen category. So there's different designs in those categories. We have not talked about resize. We have not talked about bringing in designs and changing the sizes of the letters. So in other words, those are the things that I'm going to do next. Okay, beginner, intermediate. Okay, these are all just bring them in and drop them. This heart was resized, and that is different than scale. Scale, you go up 20% or down 20%. It pulls the stitches out when you go up, It squeezes them together when you go down. Okay. Do you have any questions now on the basics of how to shape and make a patch? You should be able to do that quite easily.
Where did you find the crown? I've been looking for it. I can't find it.
Go into the mini category, MINI, and go almost all the way down. You'll see a club. Here, I'll show you.
Oh, mini. Oh, I didn't go that far.
Oh, okay. There it is.
All right. I've been going crazy looking for it. I want to ask. Okay.
No, that's
All right.
fine. Just ask. That's, that's the beauty of this Zoom. Just ask. You don't have to sit there and not know.
You know me, I like to figure out things myself.
I know, but sometimes we need help.
Okay, I needed help. I found it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, if you are making individual badges, and let me. Does anybody else have grandchildren that are involved in like Scouts or, Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or anything like that? Or am I the only one? Gotta have grandchildren first. And almonds are a little bit too young yet, so I know that.
Too old or too little?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
It's been a long time since they were.
So here's her daisy vest. Okay. And here are some of her patches. So I was trying to come up with some of the patches, but it's going to be tough to make this scallop, although we do have something similar to it. I think something to make this exact would have to be in the software. This one here is pretty involved. Got all kinds of stitching and all that other stuff, but we can make that rectangle, no problem. Okay, and then on the back, this is just a unicorn with Girl Scouts under it. And then this is cookie technique. These are far cry from my Girl Scout patches. If any of you were a Girl Scout and you saved the patches, they're all just little simple circles.
Right.
I'll have to see them if I can find them just to show them to you. I don't know if I'll be able to show them to you or not. Anyhow, that's what I'm working with. Okay, now let's move on to this one. All right. You'll notice that this is in our designs. I think it's in the children's designs. And I can't remember. I think I got this one from the Viking. You guys are your Viking people are gonna have to look and see if that's on your machine.
Adeline, are there any more minis that you can just get off my Sonet or not?
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of stuff
Okay.
on my Sonet that are little. Oh yeah. Yep. So what I asked, which I don't think is coming because the Applique 3 came out without them, is new shapes for Shape Creator and Applique Creator. So I think, yeah, they kind of humored me and said, yes, they're coming, but I don't believe them. So this beer bottle that I did here, I took from the Applique because it's VP3 is our format for both machines. So that's where this came from. This ampersand is from Times New Roman. Did you know we have the symbols in some of the fonts? And Times New Romans has an ampersand. And then this is a barbecue design that I only stitched out the first part. You don't have to stitch them all out. You can leave them. Okay, this label is these are the little daisies, and I used an oval. I pinked along the edge for my label. And this is one of the labels I was considering for quilt. I made, when they first went to school, I made them patches for their backpacks, and I made little zipper pencil cases for them, that kind of stuff. So they'd have everything labeled. Okay, so now let's go to the intermediate. So this is all the same font right here. That's all the same font. And then I switched, you can switch fonts, and you can actually switch fonts within your lettering. And I'll show you how to do that too. So I have actually an outline of what I wanted to follow. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is control points. So I think I'll save this as in my patches and labels. And I will save it as, can't remember what I saved it. So special 2, maybe. Yeah. So I'll just pull that up, so special, and I'll delete BP3. Otherwise it would just save right over it and make it 2. You can set up your own filing system however you want to label things. But if I use so special again, it would save over my smaller one, which was 3.5. And I want a 4-inch patch. Okay, now I feel comfortable in deleting this. So I'll just long hold and hit delete. That's one of the ways to delete your designs. Okay, now I am going to go into Applique Creator. I'm going to bring up a square. And it looks like I'm in a small hoop. So let me see. I might change the hoop back to 200. Yeah, I'm back in the smaller hoop. I want to change there. Now I feel better because I have more room to work with. I'll move this over here. Now, when we go into Applique Creator, it rolls back into this screen. And if I were to go into Basics again and tap it, it just makes it larger. Okay, so because I had it selected, if I didn't have it selected and I hit OK, and now I'm going to deselect it, right? I'm going to go into Applique Creator. I'm going to make a square, and it makes it the same size because it now recreated the biggest size in the 200 by 200 hoop. But if I want, I can make it smaller. I can just drag that little one back up, close everything, hit OK, and it rolls over. And now I have this design because I made one. Let's see if I can get zoom in. So I think you can see it. Okay. I made one square and then I made another square. So I know it's hard to see because I use black thread, but I was able to do a square within a square just by adding. I can just keep adding and adding and adding. right? So,
Adeline, somehow I lost you on that. I can only get one square to stay.
deselect it, tap off of it, like that. Don't have anything selected, see? I don't have anything with a box around it, with orange
Okay.
handles. Now go back into Applique Creator, make another size square. It's going to, remember, it's going to make the largest size it can for that hoop. But now I just want to drag, whoops, hang on. Okay, and I can just drag it, and I've got now, there. So now I have a 3-layered patch. Or
Okay.
label. Or label. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now when I tap OK, it rolls over, and I could just keep going. Now, this would be cute if I brought in an alphabet. I can get in the weeds real quick and just bring in a letter like, let's see how big this one is. A. See, and I could just make that bigger. Now I can only make it so big so that I could make it look like building blocks. You know, anything, you know, just that kind of stuff. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Edit Design. I'm going to delete, delete, delete. Okay, now I have my box or my square in the center. I'm going to see what size it is. It's 6 by 6.5 by 6.5. That's way too big. I want to make it 4. So I tap on the 6 for the width, tap 4. You see the red? I can't make it that small. That's why it turns red. If I wanted to make a 4-inch block, I would have, without changing it here or in the software, I would have to pick a smaller hoop. So I can resize it like this, but it stops me at 5 inches. So for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. But did you understand? If you want a 4 by 4, then start with a smaller hoop. If you want a 5 by 5, 6, or 7, or 8, 200 by 200 works great. All right, now I'm going to go into Applique. So I am going to long hold on this. I'm going to edit in Applique Creator. And what pops up are these icons on the bottom of the screen. The Edit Applique, I can make it larger, smaller. I can rotate it. I can move it on the screen. Those basic steps, that's it. And I can delete it. If I go into positioning and I look on my screen, the only thing right now I can do is rotate it left to right. Or if I go over here to this screen here where the control points are, I can play with the control points. If I tap this one, I have control points now that are in the center, and I can alter this rectangle or the square shape. So what I can do is I can just drag this one way, and I have an arrow. I can drag it this way, and I have 2 arrows. I can go like this and make it smaller and bring in the bottoms, and look at all the funky designs it can make. All right, I don't want any of those. So what I have to do is I have to get out of positioning and then delete it. Okay, so I'm going to make a smaller, I'm going to pick a smaller hoop, I am going to pick the 150 by 150. Going to go to Applique Creator. Choose basic square. And then close this. Go into positioning again. Tap this. And then I'm going to try to do this. Let's see if I can recreate this. Nope. Come on. There's my arrow. Trying to keep it. So with those center points, I'm moving it this way and this way. And it kind of looks like a book. Because I need to rotate it. That's an up. Okay, now it's a book. Now it's a little bit too big. So what I want to do is I want to change it to the back to the 200 by 200. See that? I want to make it wider. The easiest way to make it wider is to go into edit, go into scale, and see if I can make it, oops, see it's still on rotate. I do that all the time. No. If you get stuck in the weeds, just delete and start all over again. Let's do this. There. Now, the problem here is it's only going to let me do this in height. So I can't go widthwise. Okay. But here's where we start with resize. See that little symbol right there? Resize. Now let me find it, Anna, for you. No, that's not what I want. Applique Creator. Go into edit. Make sure you select your, see, I didn't select it. I'm at, yeah. Here we go again. Applique Creator. Select it. And where did they stick it? Where is resize? Well, that's the trick. Got to be here somewhere. Here it is. Okay, let me show you, Anna, where it is. Did everybody else find the resize on their machine?
Okay.
Right here, see these double butterflies, Anna, that when
Yeah.
you're in the embroidery edit, tap that. And now you hit OK, and you can resize.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go back to resize over here. All right, so resize on this screen. Trying to remember where it is. I'll find it for you, Carol, and I'll send you a picture with a circle where all these icons are for you. And Terry, if you need help, I can do the same.
Thank you.
Okay, So if I go into resize now, I tap this from the little flower up until the bigger flower. And that turns it into resize. You can only go up and down for resize. That is the key. So if I wanted more of a rectangle, I would have to make it first. But this one's good for me. So I am going to make it 5, almost 6 by 7. There we go. Now, what's the difference between resize and scale? Scale goes up 20% and down 20%. Resize, you can resize it to different sizes and it recalculates the stitches. Recalculates the stitches. So my suggestion for you is to, when you start doing things like this, is to start off slowly until you understand the concept, and then you can go from there. But I just wanted to show you the control points so that you could turn it into an arrow, or in my case, I turned it into a book. So it's real easy now. I just go into the designs. I go into children. I look for my book stack, and there it is. I bring my book stack over here. Now I want to make it fit. I go back into resize. I go back here to resize. I go here to resize. And I just make it a lot bigger than 1 by 2. Okay, I hit okay. I can also rotate it a little bit. I can move it. And if I want to, it's too big now because it's going over what I call the binding on the book. There it is. And then I hit okay. All right, so that's how I did this one here. And then you saw the computer, and then there it is. Now on the Viking, you have a couple of cute little gamer symbols, like a handheld game, and a loading symbol too, like it's loading. And I was thinking of doing a patch that said level up. So now all this is just fonts. Now, I have to show you something really important, and I'll go over it a couple of times so it makes sense. Make sure nothing is selected. Go into alphabet. Go into, I like Times New Roman for a manly type, if that's such a thing, a manly type font. And what you have to do is you literally have to spell each of these out individually. Did you know there was an apostrophe? It's in the symbols, and there it is. And then there it puts it in there. Then I go back to the alphabet, and I lowercase. When you want something to be in sequence, the easiest thing to do is to do it one at a time. And people have asked me about that when they do a label. And there we go. And there's that one. So next one, deselect, so you don't have anything. Go into A for alphabet. That was times 20. Then I'm going to make this R capital. Hit that, close everything up. and turn it like this. Whoops, wrong way. And then now I can move it, and I notice that that's too big. So the easiest way to do that is to long hold, edit in embroidery text, and then go into the alphabet and change it to times 12. And it changes it right away. Now I'd have to do the same thing here. Come on. Oops, I gotta close this. Sorry. If you can't grab something, go into the layers panel and select it that way. Okay, now I am going to make that smaller by, I don't want to scale it. I'm going to long hold. As long as you don't save it, you still can play with it. And I'm going to go into times 12 and make it smaller. So do you see how, do you understand the concept of going back and forth and editing in the text? That's what I was trying to get across. And then you could just move it and continue with B. But this time I'm going to select 12. And there it's hiding. Move it down here. Again, go to rotate. Wrong way, go this way. And I want to show you something. I don't know if any of you know this, but that's the undo button. You can undo your move or what you've done. You can undo it just like you do on a Word document. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to go to, I'm going to deselect it. And I make sure that nothing is selected, because if it were, it would change it. And then I'm going to go back to times, but this time I'm going to go back and pick the large font, and it is 20, lowercase. And I'm going to go into the symbols right here. And I'm going to pick the exclamation point. See it right there? Close this. Close this. Bring this down. And then rotate it. Then move it until I get what I want. And if I have to, then I go back. And again, I pick up things and move them to where I want them. As long as you can grab them, you can move them around. Whoops, that's, I don't want to group those. What I do is I do group them once I like where they're sitting. There's I'd rather be reading. And reading right there. Okay, hang on. Now, look at the sequence. I want my book shape first, my books, then the lettering, and I want all of those to be grouped together. So I select multiple, and I just pick all those and group them. So I can actually do the lettering first, just by moving that up. Okay, And then I just hit go and I can stitch it, but I'm going to save it because I like that. And I'm just going to make it reading. And all my ones I'm working on today, they all get the number 2. And now it's saved. Okay. So now let me come back over again. Right here, these were all quite simple. And what I'm trying to explain, let me see, let me try and remove the spotlight here so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, what? Okay, well, now see if I do. Oh, shoot, I just got ink on my face. All right, let me see if I can change this now. Okay, remove spotlight. There we go. All right, here I am. I'm not showing. Am I showing up on your screen? Okay, good. Because what I wanted to show you was all of these are just basic, simple lettering. In order to change the lettering, you are going to have to ungroup it first and group. What in the world am I talking about? You just saw how I grouped all the lettering together. Now I need to start playing with the different lettering because I want different fonts and sizes mixed together. So now we're on to the intermediate screen, or the advanced. I'm sorry, we're on to the advanced. And this is where we'll spend some time doing the labels too. I wanted you to understand the concepts with the patches. Let me bring this back up again. All righty. There we go. So let me highlight the patches. Okay. So what I wanted you to understand is these patches that I have here in the first 2 rows, very simple. You just type in the word, put it the way you want, or type in 1 letter at a time if you want to do it that way, or you can ungroup the love and just rotate them. You know how to rotate, you know how to move. And these are just concepts you want to learn in any embroidery application. All right. I wanted you to know how to bring in designs. It's very simple. You can bring in mini designs. You can bring in the coffee designs that are built into the machine. You can bring in the heart in the mini and resize it. So I will define on your handout, I will make sure to go over the difference between resize and scale so that when you watch this again, you'll understand the concept. This, I used control points, I turned it, and I made it look like a book. So these are just straight up patches, changing nothing except size, and this is changing control points. And you can get some really funky shapes when you do that. This advanced technique, even though it really doesn't look that hard, is a patch within a patch. And if I turn it over, you can see that I used black as my background, and then I added the gold to make it an applique. All right. Now, a lot of times with these patches, I will change my bobbin to match. Because if I'm giving this to someone, I like it to be equally as neat on the top as the bottom. Now, I use gold thread here. There's no way I'm winding a gold thread, metallic thread bobbin. So That I just used a white bobbin. But that's how I did that to make it look professional. These others, it was just easy enough, again, to use the lettering, I use the blue, but the book stack, I just use white. So you can make your own judgment on that. Okay, now there's nothing to say that you can't put a patch in a bag that you've made, or even besides your quilt, your projects that you make, a little wall hanging, a little table runner. I wish I had done that when I made things for my family, but I didn't. So that's why I'm making some changes now. Right now, this is big time advanced. Mini designs in an oval, lettering, and then this is an outline mini that I used. And the oval is just your circle made into an oval. I'll show you that too. All right, any questions so far? Wow. Okay. Okay, now, does anybody need a break? No, we good? I want to show you a couple things. Let's see. Oh, you're not gonna be able to see this. I went into yeah. I went into some different websites and I found some labels. Oma Embroidery Place, I think is her name, is where I found this one. So I found a couple of these and I included those in your free designs. I also digitized some designs. And if you are not familiar with a daily art hub, then I'm going to introduce you to it. And Daily Art Hub is artwork, graphics, alphabets, all of that. As soon as it pops up, here we go. And there are free designs. Excuse me. And let me share my screen. Can you see? Can you see it says Daily Art Hub?
Yes.
Okay, so you can actually download these and I can share them with you because they are commercial free. So I don't have to pay. I actually have a subscription to this. I bought it years ago and it's $35 a year is what I paid for it, and it's well worth it. So what I did is I searched for fun shapes. What? All right. Let me just try shapes. There they are. And so you can see that you can do a lot of different things. So here's one with shapes. Here's another one with shapes. And what I did is I found one with shapes and I made patches for you, which was quite easy because all I need is a placement line, like right there. the mason jar, all I need is a placement line, a tack down line, and then a satin stitch. And I could easily make any of these into a patch. But I just wanted to share that with you. I know some of you have the software and some of you are trying to learn how to use the software. And I just wanted to share that with you because you do not have to pay unless you download it. See, I have a membership, so I wouldn't have to pay $2.99. But in my opinion, for now, it's worth it for what I use it for. Okay, are we ready to go to advanced? Is that a yes? Is everybody ready?
think
We don't
so.
have any questions? No,
Ready.
ready. Okay. Let's see if I can find you something. All right. I want to show you an advanced project I did. Everybody see that?
Cool.
Some of you have seen this hanging in the store. Those are all fonts on your machine. And the heart you can see because I use it all the time. And I can recognize fonts because I've used them so often. And what I did is I resized like the X and the O to make that. I had to put this in that order. I had to do an L and then a V, an O and an E and put them in the order. Line them up, make them look like a little block, added the heart in the center and grouped them. So I am going to show you how to do some of these now so that you can create your labels and make them unique and special. Okay, so let me show you what I'm using as my template. Someone left me a, let me stop share. And someone left me a label that was something that they purchased. Let me see if I can show you this. It must have been on a panel with different types of labels. So you see how that works? Well, that one is a little bit more involved. So we're not going to do that. But we are going to steal the size, 6.5 by 4.5. Okay. So it's 6.5 by 4.5. So this is all saved. I don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna long hold and delete all. Oops. Okay. I'm going to start with 200 by 200. I want to make a rectangle. So I'm going to go into Applique Creator. I am going to pick a square. I am going to go into Edit, Applique, and I'm going to unlock it. Okay. So now I have a 6.3 square. I want a 6.5 width. I'm going to type 6.5. Oops. And a 4.5 height. And there it is. So that's simple. So you took a square, which is locked proportionally, you unlock it, and you make a label that's 6.5 inches long, or wide rather, wide this way, and 4.5 inches tall. That's easy. You already have the outline. outline on it. You can change the outline. 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 And maybe I want to make it hearts. Okay. If I want to, I can go into positioning and make some changes, but I'm going to leave it alone. This is exactly what I want. Okay. And if I want to, I can change that heart color. Whoops. Let me go into the color palette, not the layers. And I can make that pink again if I want. Like that. There, I'll make those pink hearts. Okay, so now I have pink hearts. Now, when I make this label, I am going to have a bigger piece of fabric. And unlike my patches, I'm not going to cut anything off. I'm going to just stitch straight up onto the fabric. Okay, now I want to put my lettering in here. So I am going to select something with a script. And I don't see, you know, if you go up here to Adina and you use Adina, you will not be happy. Unless that's what you want. But if you are trying to do something like that, then we have to consider maybe using the fonts from the sewing side. Let's try the script. And what it does is you have to create it on the sewing side. If you want to bring in your lettering, Grammy, then you would have to save it in Sequence Creator. And there it is. That's all you do. If you pick in Embroidery the stitch fonts that are on the sewing side, it takes you into Sequence Creator automatically. Then when you tap OK, it drops it on your design. And then all I have to do is rotate it. And there it is. So in this way, ladies, you can actually make, this one I'm going to delete. You can actually make a label with lots of wording on it. Made by Grammy, with love. You can mix it up. I can go in and actually pick another font if I want. And let's see, I'll pick Pouty. And I'll spell L-O-V-E. Maybe I'll make it bigger. Okay. So now you know that you combine lettering between embroidery fonts and stitch fonts. Now, let's say I don't want it straight across like that. I want to make it, I want to make them, whoops, go back in here to grab it. I want to make it so it looks like this love. Whoops. Like that love. Okay. This is very important. You are going to go into the layers panel. You are going to ungroup it. See how I ungrouped it? Made each one individually. And then when I go back, oh, come on. Let's start with the L. I can move this over here. I can rotate. I can move this one here. Again, if you can't grab it, I'm having trouble grabbing everything. Then I can go over here. I can rescale it. That's all. But I. Now I can move it. Then I move to the center and I can move it up here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that O and make sure nothing else is selected because I want to delete that O. So now I can go into Mini and I can, where's the heart? Go into Mini. And then I use the heart outline. Bring it down here. And then I can make that larger. Now, the one thing I want to point out is your resize shows up once you've ungrouped it. And again, I'll write the outline, so these will be important points that you can make on your sheet. Once you print it, you can make little notes. And if I make that larger, I can make it super large. Okay, so there it is. And then what I would do is, because I've separated all of these, then I can move these around. So there. Now that is not anything I would say, but I think you understand the concept. You can bring in, you can change a square to a rectangle. You can add other border shapes. You can bring in fonts from the sewing side, and then you can ungroup your lettering and make it in different sizes, move it around, rotate it, all of those kinds of things to make your label. If you want several sentences in your label, then use your grid to line them up so they're nice and straight. Put them on a grid line. And now you can space them a ½ inch apart. If you don't like that love, then you select it and delete it. And start again. Okay. Now, I am going to make an oval. So I'm just going to delete all that. I'm going to go back to Applique Creator. Pick a circle. And how I make the circle is the same concept as the square to a rectangle. I go into Edit, Applique, I unlock it, and I make the width 6.5 and I make the hat, the height 4.5. And now it's an oval. Okay, got it so far? Is that a yes? A head thumbs up or shake your head?
Yep, I got
Yeah.
it.
Okay. All right, now I don't want a satin stitch. If you look at my design, I don't want a satin stitch. So what I'm going to do is I am going to delete one. Got rid of the satin stitch. That has now become a raw edge applique. And that's how I did this. Right there. Okay. So it went around once and then went around twice for the tack down. Okay. Got it? Now, let's get those daisies in place. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Oh, can you see that? There, that's better. So I put the fabric down. I put the white piece of fabric down. I did the placement stitch. I put the, I'm sorry, let me start again. I cut a background piece of blue fabric. I put it in the hoop. I stitched the placement stitch, put the white fabric down, and stitched the tack down. I went back, actually I didn't go back until after I was all done. I didn't trim anything until I was finished. Now I want to make an oval of daisies. So to do that, I need to go into Shape Creator. So I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to deselect that oval because it'll just change it and I want to keep it. So I am going to go into Shape Creator. And I am going to pick a shape. And I am going to resize that to 6. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller and 4. See what happened? I didn't change it. It's now going to become a circle. So I have to unlock it and change this one back to 6. Okay. Now do you see my shaped line inside my applique line? You can see there's only one line. Now I bring in my daisies. I bring in my minis and I go to the top. Where's my daisy? Come on. There she is. There's my daisy. Oops, where'd you go? Come on. There. All right. I have one daisy. See this number over here? I just keep adding. Now, you see, I can alter it between other designs, but I just want a ring of daisies. I don't want to make it too hard for you. I can tap this. Come on. Come on. I should be able to put the number in there. Oh, come back. There. And let me guess. Let me guess 30. That looks pretty good. There's enough of a space in between. And now what I also can do is I can make this smaller. I can change this to 5.5 and 3.5. And now it just kind of pushed them together. So I can actually take out some if I want to, give a little bit more space. Maybe 25. Yeah, 25 looks good. I don't know if that's what I did here. It looks like I have more spacing in between. There. All right, this is what I'm trying to explain. See how I have spacing in between? Like that. Now, the funky thing that I tried and tried and tried to get that to work correctly, to stitch out correctly, it wouldn't do it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to hit go. Yep, you know what? Let me check the layers. Okay, that's going to stitch first, and that's the daisy's second. So, whoops. Shoot. Let me go back. I'm going to go back to edit. I goofed. Sorry. I'm going to hit go. And I'm going to sort and merge. Now, ironically, the sort and merge doesn't affect the outline. So it'll still do a placement, it'll do a tack down, and then it'll go to the daisies. And now it appears like all the blues should stitch first, but it doesn't. Look what it is. Look, I'll show you what I'm talking about. How do I know that? I go to 2-1, then 2-3, then 2-5, then 2-7. And that's because of the software, the way it brought those daisies in. It brought them in one at a time, brought in the one at the bottom. Here's the bottom. See? Then the next one, 3, is right next to it. Well, no, let's see. Say there's 1, 3, 5. Now it's making me a liar. Which is what I wanted it to do. Oh, isn't that funny? It's lying. That's not what mine did when I stitched it out. Okay. Funny. Come on. Let's go back. Let's go back to first one. Okay. Now, I would save this. And I would go back to embroidery edit. And I would save that and call it a daisy template. So, and I like upper and lowercase. Okay. Now I can do whatever I want with this because this is saved. So I can go back and add lettering. And then hit that. And curls is this kind of blue-green kind of lettering. Okay, made by, and then I can add again, Grammy. Then bring it down here, line it up with my grid line. And then maybe move it up and put a date in there, whatever you want it to say. And that's basically how you make your patches and your labels. Okay, now I'm coming back. You can go ahead and unmute yourself. And I'll remove this.
Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Carol, did you make a circle? Were you able to make a circle?
Oh, I had a circle, but I couldn't get it to stay there. So I'll play around with it.
What do you mean by to stay there? I'm trying to understand.
I went in to the machine
Yeah,
and the circle came up. I hit the circle
okay.
and it was there. But when I checked the okay, it disappeared. When I checked the other one, it just disappeared. I couldn't get it to stay.
Okay, you are in Shape Creator. If you are an Applique Creator, it will stay. It disappears because it doesn't recognize any additional stitches. All it recognizes is a shape. So the shape is, the reason it disappears is there's nothing on it. There's nothing attached to it. So when you go into Shape Creator, you have to have a stitch. Can you bring in stitches from the machine side? Yes.
Yes, I saw that. I
Yeah,
can do that.
you can
Yeah.
do that. And so if I wanted to have a heart outline from the sewing machine side, I could. And
Mhm.
I've actually done
Mhm.
that before. So
Okay, so it's Applique Creator
Applique
is the
Creator,
first thing.
right. If you
Is the
want
first
to
thing.
make something that has a placement stitch, a tack down, and then a satin stitch, it's Applique Creator.
Okay.
Okay, that's the difference between the two.
I'm like, when I go to layers,
Mm-hmm,
like right now I have an applique creator circle
mm-hmm.
loaded up. If I go to layers though, I don't see all three of those stitches.
Ungroup them, ungroup them. Select all and then ungroup.
It does not give me that option.
Okay, you made a circle with Applique Creator?
Yeah,
Go into the palette, the artist palette.
okay, I see applique 1, 2, and 3.
And now you can change the colors. But the only thing you can do is delete the satin stitch. If you hit delete again, you delete the whole thing.
So if I decide to use one of the fun satin stitches,
Mm-hmm.
that would replace the satin stitch.
Right.
Okay, but so, okay, it doesn't matter that I can't see them. I see them in color. I don't see them in the palette.
You
But
see
I
them?
don't,
Yes, that's right.
but that's okay.
Not
that
until
I-
you, right, not until you stitch it out.
Right, when I stitch it out, then I just know that
Then you'll
I
see
got
it.
step 1, do my thing, step 2, do my thing. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, and that's what I'm going to show you right now too. Now, the other thing I want to share with you is I like this fuse and tear. And this happens to be a Pellon product, but we have it at the store too. And it has a smooth side. Let me bring this over so we can talk. It'll make more sense. Okay, so what this is this is fuse and tear. And like I said, this one's Pellon. And when it comes off the roll, the smooth side is on the inside. Okay, so what I did is I cut 3 of these like this, and then I put them in the hoop, and then I took my piece of fabric like this. So if I put this in here, and I hooped it and pressed the fabric to the fuse and tear, just the fabric. I didn't press the paper together. I just pressed the spot where the fabric was. In other words, I just went like this in the hoop. Just like that. I just press that in the hoop. Okay. So what it does is it sticks it to the paper. Now, the downside is when you are done and you start tearing the stabilizer away, you're going to have little pieces stuck. But you can easily get that out with tweezers, right? Somewhere here, or you can actually use seam ripper. Just pull that out like so. The problem stems right here. You're going to have whiskers from those stabilizers, those 3 layers of fuse and tear right along here. All of those are going to be whiskers. So here's what I did. Took my dollar flame thingy. I don't even, what are these called? I don't even know what they're called.
Lighter.
A lighter.
Oh,
Sounds
lighter.
And then what I just did is I just lightly tapped right along the edge here and burned off those whiskers. Don't burn your fabric. Oh, you didn't even see me do that. Shoot. I'll do it again. So I just went along right here like this. And I burned off my whiskers.
Did it burn them or just melt them?
No, it burned them off.
Burned them off.
Yeah, what it's doing now is if I'm careful, it'll melt my thread because it's a polyester.
Oh, okay.
Careful,
So
go ahead.
So why would I want to use the fuse and tear
Yes.
when I have the, let me go back to my notes here.
Dissolve away.
Yes,
Right.
thank you.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
So you can use either the dissolve away or the fuse and tear.
Right. And if you use a no-show mesh, it's in there. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be there forever.
So no
So
show fusible.
no-show mesh, yeah. No-show mesh. Power Mesh by Floriani, Whisper Web Mesh, that product.
Yeah, I have that, but on your notes it says no show fusible.
Yes.
Okay.
Here, I'll show you. This is no-show. See, this is Power Mesh.
I have
Cutaway.
that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is not fusible.
No.
Right.
By the way.
Okay.
Okay.
So the fusible I like because the fabric's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Okay, because if you do a basting stitch, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I don't have it taped to the water soluble, now I can't trim that. Right? If I have a basting stitch, I got to take the basting stitch out to trim this.
Okay.
All right, let's finish this so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, let's delete this. And I have a bunch of them that I've been playing around with. This one's free, Best Grandma Ever. Grill Master was easy to do. I can show you how to do that before we wrap it up. And then I have my Montana 2. Also, I don't know if you saw it, but I found you a sewing machine too. Right here. So if you want to make a label with that solid sewing machine, that's a satin stitch because there's no way I'm going to make that into an applique. That's a satin stitch. Okay. Then I played around with the control points and got some different shapes here. My grandson made a smiley face, and this is the way he drew the eyes, and then he drew the mouth. And the only way that I could figure out how to make a mouth was with the letter C on its side.
Oh, good idea.
So that's how I did that. Then this is Luke's badge right here. He wanted the one with a rainbow, and that rainbow is on the Viking. So it just depends. You can get free designs all over the place. So you're not limited to what the machine has. You can just add different ones in. Now, this is another one that I did right here, this Basics 4. I don't know if you can see that, but I put all of those into the Grand Dream hoop or the Majestic hoop so that I could cut or stitch all 4 of them out at once. But I'll go back to that after I stitch out. So let me just stitch this out and change it to 150 by 150. No, texture hoop. There it is. And then hit go. And yeah, I'll put it there. Okay. All right. So I put it up again first. I don't know why. I think it's the file, but I went to the placement stitch, and then this is the tack down. Okay. Right? You got that? I just finished the tack down right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim all this off. Then I am going to show you a couple of things. Because this machine will curve designs too. You know what? I'm going to take it off. I dropped way too many things. I don't think I'm the only one who has it, but that drop disease. This is. I have got to find a pair of sharp applique scissors. I have a whole bin of applique scissors. I look like I cut hair for a living. I have so many scissors. And I know you can't see this, but I'm just cutting that extra fabric off. And the one thing with doing something that's not very intricate, like this design, is you can skip. You can skip around and do different things. So before I do the satin stitch, okay, I just trimmed all the way around. So before I do the satin stitch, I'm going to put the word Montana in. Last summer we went to Montana and we had a great time. It's a beautiful state, just gorgeous. So now I'm going to jump down to the lettering. And because I have, let me show you my cutting. I'm going to turn off the cutter until the end, just the end. I also sorted and merged. So this is all sorted. and merged. Now it will stitch. Okay. And I'll show you that as soon as I snip this. So it is stitching that word Montana on a curve.
What type of fabric do you use when you do labels?
Cotton. I just use cotton.
Okay.
I put some Pillon shape flex on the back of that one to give it a little bit more body. This, I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything. So it's kind of flimsy. And let me pull up Grill Master. I'll show you how I did that. So while it's stitching, I'll explain how I did this. Do you see this pattern here? This is a dingbat. This is that shield. And that is not the thread. That is actually the hole in the towel. I brought in the grill tools and I resized them. Not scale, resize. And then the lettering is again, because I wanted Manly, is Times New Roman. Okay, now I'll show you how I did that. Okay. So you see, no, you can't see. I'm showing you, and you can't see it. Okay, stop share. All right. So you see how that Montana curves? You cannot, well, no, you can, but I'm not happy with it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right. So let's go back to embroidery edit. And I'm just going to delete all this. Like that. I am going to go to Applique Creator. I'm going to select the dingbat right there, that shield, badge, whatever you want to call it. And it automatically came in with that satin stitch. I didn't mess with it at all. Now, I went into my designs in Kitchen. There's all those good food things and lettering and all kinds of, the drinks are so cute. And there are the tools. But you see what happened? it didn't, it wants to make a whole thing of tools. So I messed up. So I have to delete that. Is it gonna let me delete it? There I go. Okay. So hit okay. All right. Now deselect it. Oh, yeah. So let's do this. Edit and Applique Creator. All right, give it back. I have made a mess here. And when in doubt, just get rid of the whole thing. There we go. All right, deselect it. So it doesn't want, here we go. So it doesn't do that again. Try to put all of the tools in that shape. So I'm going to go in here. Again, bring in the tools. Bring them in the center. Try it and center them. And as you can see, they're too big. So then I select that. You'll notice now resize is available. If this is grayed out, that means you can't do it. So whatever that happens, that means you cannot do it. So now it rolls into resize. And I just resize it to make it fit. And my Epic people, I'll give you this file too. No, I made it about 1.5, I think is what I made it. Yeah, 1.5. So then I put it in the center. I hit OK. Easy. Go to the lettering. Times, let's try 30. Grill. Ooh, that's too big. I can see it already. Let's change it to 20. There. And hit the keyboard. So now I just move it up. And again, I use my grid, and that little bubble is the center. That little bubble right there on the box means it's in the center. And then I can fine tune it. Excellent. Okay. These are easy, easy peasy. Then pick lettering again, times New Roman 20. And make something longer. You'll understand what I'm talking about in a minute. If I just put Grill King, you won't see the curve. Now, right over here, do you see these bubbles? These are grayed out, so that means I can't use them. But this one isn't. And I can arc it up. See how it made it? Let me close it. See how it went up? I can arc it down, which is the one I used. I can make a soft arc up, a soft arc down. Even softer and softer, but I'm going to go with that one. And now I'm just going to bring that down right there. And again, if I went to 0, 0, it would bring it right on top of that tools. So what I do is I just make sure that the horizontal is at 0.
Flipper.
Okay. And then I check the layers. So the shield stitches first, then the tools, and then the grill master. Normally, if I were doing this, I would put grill and master in a group. I would then move it up and do the lettering and do the tile last. Or the tools, I'm sorry. The tools. And that's how I do it. And then, of course, I save. And I make it Grill Master 2. So that's how I did it on that kitchen towel. Now, let me show you another one that I did. Because this is next week's class in the store. This is the in-store making this towel. And what you'll do is you'll get an opportunity to learn how and apply your lettering. But now that you've taken this class, you should understand a little bit more. There's the apostrophe. And there's the apostrophe. I mirrored it. I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring it closer. I mirrored it left and right. See? I put a space in. And I wrote the word master. My niece's husband, Drew, is a brewmaster. And he made a beer for my dad after he passed away. And I got to find out the name of it. So this is his thank you gift. Whoops. Then this is the ellipse. And I made the I as large as I could. And then I made the M. I ungrouped this and made the M bigger. And then I took those 4 beer bottles or wine bottles from the Viking machine. And I used this font. I can't remember what font that is. And then this is, I don't know, Bell, Pouty, one of those. But the trick was to get those letters centered on the bottles. And what I had to do is fine tune them with the arrows. I couldn't just hit 0 and get it in the center of each one. So that one was a little bit more work. I resized the bottle, and as you can see, it separated it because it didn't recalculate the stitches. It just separated it and made it 20% larger. But I like that look. That's what I like. I was going for that. So it didn't look solid, is what my idea was. Okay, now, do I have anything else that I wanted to show you? So, I think I've covered everything. Does anybody have any questions?
The only thing I'm having a problem with is resizing, like the 0 into an oval. I was going to go over it, but I can't. I'm just trying to do it and I can't figure it out.
Did you unlock the padlock and make them uneven?
Maybe that's what I didn't do.
Yeah, because the lock makes it proportional. Let me remove this. The lock makes the shape, whatever you come in with, a circle, a square, everything comes in their standard shape and it's locked. You cannot change it from proportional unless you unlock the padlock.
Okay, so I have my circle.
Do you see that little padlock in the middle? You have to go to the box that has the right the arrow pointing to the right next to the move screen. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm looking for it. Wait a minute.
Let me put my I'm gonna put my screen back on. Okay.
Okay, it's unlocked. Maybe that's what I was.
Yeah. Let's go over a couple of these icons. So this first one is the move icon. This one I can move all over the place, see? And you'll notice that that is not grouped. So I'm floating that around. Now I'm going to push this. It brings it right back to center. This is the scale. When I tap this, the padlock shows up. And that,
Right.
and the size now shows up too, and tells me how big this patch is. This is mirror image. So if I selected grill master and I mirrored it left to right, it would look like that. If I mirrored it top to bottom, it would look like that. I don't want to do that, and I don't want that. Okay, this is rotate. If I tapped that, I could now rotate in 90 degrees, back to 0 degrees, turn it off, and then turn it off by going, I like to go back to move, and then this is duplicate and delete.
Right.
Okay, so those are the symbols. Okay, so
Okay.
all of you should be able to do this as soon as I send you the file. Now, let me show you what I did do with those when I first got my machine. I'll remove the spotlight. I'll go into my,
So Adeline, real quick on that circle to an oval, I just unlocked my lock. So I'm unlocked. But in order to make it into an oval, I have to change it by the numbers, correct?
yes.
I can't just pull it and
Oh, yeah,
expect
yeah,
it.
yes, you can do that too. You could, if you want to fine tune it, then change it to your exact size. And in this case, it was 6.5 by 4.5. So you would change it to that if you wanted to, or whatever you wanted it to be. If you wanted it to proportional, you don't want it skewed or stretched out, then you would change it, but not unlock the padlock. Okay?
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Now let's take a look at something I made. I'm just trying to give you ideas. That's all. Whoop. All righty. So I need to make this
Cute.
larger. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. So what I did is I just made a square, and I took off the satin stitch. I deleted the satin stitch so that I had a square. I'll show you how I did this. And then I added the designs in the middle to make the coasters. That was real easy. That was one of my first things I did. So let me show you how I did that. They're hiding somewhere in my house. I don't know where. All right. So I saved Grill Master. Let me delete this. And I'll show you how I did that. Now, I'm going to actually leave the 150 by 150 and then go into Applique Creator. Make a square. Then I don't want that satin stitch, so I go into Edit Applique and I delete the satin stitch. So now I just have the outline and I hit OK. So I have the placement, and then I put the checkered fabric down, and there's the tack down. Then I deselect that. I go into kitchen and I bring up the grill. And then I go into edit design, smack dab in the middle. Too big, right? So I go into resize. Now in resize, there's no lock. See, there's no lock. You can only make it larger or smaller. So I'm gonna make it smaller. And one of the things that I wanted to show you is, let's say you get it all done, you don't like that size. You want to go back to what it came in at, you hit that icon right there. Come on. It's supposed to be back. Come on, it didn't work. Ah, made me a liar. So then I make it a little larger, maybe a little smaller. I put it in the center now. And I hit OK. Now let's see how it stitches out. It stitches out a square. And then it does the grill. But I'm going to show you what you do next. In order to put the backing on, you need to copy another one of these. And then put it in the middle, right on top of it. So then the last step is what you would do. Now, stay with me here because I hope this makes sense. Is, let's say you have your coaster right here, right? There's your coaster. And you've got it all stitched like this, and then the grill in the center. Now you have to put in something in to turn it the other way. So what you do is you make two halves of something like this to fit. There's one. And I know you've done this before on Kimberbell, so it's got to make sense to you. But then again, sometimes I'm wrong. So you see what happened? See how we did that? And then you stitch it again. And then the tack down again. So it doesn't go anywhere. Whoops, wrong way. Yikes, ladies, this way. Both of the folds are in the center. And then when you're done, you trim it, and then you turn it like this. Same concept. So if I were to make a a coaster out of this, then I would take one there, like so.
Ah.
And the other one like this. And now do the circle again. Placement, tack down. And then trim it with pinking shears. That always works the best when you're trying to do a curve. And then turn it. And now I have a coaster. Maybe I'll do that instead. I'll turn this into a coaster.
Hmm.
Okay,
I'll get it.
outline.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball.
Okay.
Um,
I love it. Go ahead.
okay, I want to make a pin to put on my shirt. So what I want to do is to be able to put one of those magnets. So you have magnet on the inside and then one that goes on the inside of your shirt. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so what I want to do is create a pocket on the back of the patch. Is
Uh-huh.
it possible to stitch everything except for the satin stitch? And do the
Yes.
satin stitch last? That way you could attach that extra piece of fabric?
Yep. Good
Okay.
point. Thank you. So what you're going to do then is, let's see if I can do this for you guys. I'm going to go into edit. No, I can't. It won't let me. All righty. Go back into Applique Creator maybe. Then I have the satin stitch like this, right? I put a satin stitch. Okay. Now, I'm going to go into the layers, and you see the first one, no satin stitch. See it?
Yes.
Okay. Just a placement and a tack down. Then you put whatever you want in the center. you take this and you do that, you copied and pasted it, so it was a duplicate. And I don't know how big your pocket is, but you don't want to sew it down. So what are you putting in this pocket?
The second piece of the magnet. So what I was thinking was the square would be the exact same size, but the top edge is folded down, so it leaves an opening. So you're
Just
not
like that.
actually, you're not correct. You're not actually stitching that top edge.
Right, there you go. So what it would do then is it would make this would, if you wanted to turn it the other way, then you could. But if you want the pocket on the back, you
Yes.
turn the hoop over. Okay? So you turn the hoop over. And what I might even put another circle down here. I don't know. But you would put your pocket like that. And tape this to the back. We've done
Right.
this. We've done this before too, right?
Yep.
And then when you tape it to the back, you do the satin stitch on this side and then trim after the placement stitch. You trim it right there. See where my fingernail is? And then you do the satin stitch.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, now that's a good one. I want to see it done, Alma.
Okay. That's why I took this class. I want to
Yep.
make that name tag.
Yep, that'll be perfect, actually. Now I had another thought too. What happened? Where'd it go? Let me think of something. Oh, I can't think of it now, but it'll come to me, I'm sure, after I'm all done here. If you want to make the coaster or a pot holder or something like that, then put the Embroidery on the back. Put the Embroidery on the back.
Mhm.
Put your second piece of fabric on the back, and then do your satin stitch around and just trim it after the placement, both front and back. I believe we've done that too before, that technique. Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me check my notes a minute, because I know I wanted to share something. Oh gosh, I think I've covered everything though. I want to check my notes. Okay. Okay, I got it. All right, I'm going to delete all this because I can recreate it, no problem. So let's say I want to do Applique Creator. And I want to do dingbats. And I want to go in here and do something with these lips. And I thought, well, maybe I can squish them this way or, make some kind of odd shape. Here's the problem. None of the dingbats have control points. There's no control points in the dingbats. So that's out. All right. Another, wrapping it up, trying to hit all the highlights. Applique Creator. And I go into the heart. And I want to mess with the heart again and see if I can alter that. No control points again. So not every shape has the control points. You have to find which ones have the control points in order to play around with them. So Applique Creator, go into the star. And now it has control points so that you can That you just make larger and smaller, right? This one over here. Okay, now let me get this zoomed in. Now I can start making a wonky star if I want. Okay, look at that
Yeah.
mess. You can, like I said, you can get stuck in the weeds here. And then here's another one that you can just, I don't know how I did it one time, but I made a ghost. And I can't ever recreate it again. That's just frustrating. Then here you can, these are to align things up differently. Ooh, look at that. I don't know what that's going to be. But whatever it is, I'm going to delete it. And then I go into Applique Creator again. And I was, like I said, yesterday I was playing around with all kinds of different things. I'll show you what I did. Is it this one? Okay, if you go into the control points on the square, this one here, there's just the 4 points there. And if I just drag it like this, I can turn it into something else totally different. Then I thought, I should be able to do something with that. So I tapped it, brought it in, and rotated it. Oops. And now I have a unique shape that I could do something with. Just make a unique patch. So let me show you what I did yesterday. One more share. What I labeled it. Can't remember what I labeled them.
In the low design, did they have any like travel pictures that you come across?
No, you probably could find some on my Sonet. Have you started your subscription yet?
No, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, you could probably find some there. No, I can't find where I put that. Oh, it's on the machine. That's why. You can find more things on that if you go into my Sonet. Those of you who had a free 3-month subscription, you can download some of those things and use those. Yeah. I know there's travel in there for sure.
There is. Okay.
Yes, I do. Okay, let me show you what I played with yesterday because that was kind of fun. All right. Let me delete this. And go into my folder and load this. And then this one was that dream hoop, the biggest hoop we have. Right there, 360 by 350. And then, see, I played with this in different shapes and made that was a circle. I made it into an oval. This one was a square, and I played around with it, made it unique. There, whoops, come back. And then this one was a triangle, and I just rounded it off. And then this one I just showed you how I did with the star. And I ended up with that. So as long as nothing crosses over, like if I put this here like this, and then I tried to put this one here, whoops, like this, and then I hit stitch out. Oh, it let me. Oh, usually it won't let me. Oh, well, because you're not supposed to cross over. You shouldn't have, Oh, shouldn't have more than 3 lines, I think is what it is. Let me see if I can. Because it's hard to line things up on this dream hoop. So I like to, this is the hoop that I used for edge to edge. I put A on one side and B on the other, and I just hoop the fabric in, especially table runners, not so much quilts, but table runners. Okay, and then here's just some more ideas that I did. And I shared a couple of things with you.
Say hello to everybody.
You want to say that?
Say hello to everybody.
Oh, who
Say,
are we saying
this is
hello?
Lucky.
Wait a minute. Let me remove that. All right, who are we saying hello to?
Lucky. He took off. The cat.
Oh,
The cat. He took off.
he took it and want any part of
No,
being a,
no.
okay.
He's still here, but he,
Oh, he didn't want his face on. Okay.
no.
All right. So, any questions? I want to see one patch from every one of you. Just
Okay.
one.
This
Just
one.
one.
Here.
Even if you just do the sew with the crown, or I'll send you those designs as soon as we're done here. But just
Okay.
one patch. That's all I want.
Okay.
And you're sending an outline of the notes? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I wanted to
Okay.
do I want to do the timestamp when I go through the recording.
Okay.
Mhm.
So if you wanted a review of something, then you could find it.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
And if I find any YouTube videos, I'll put the link right in the notes. I know that Sarah Snuggergood has done something. I just can't stand to listen to her voice, but that's I just mute her and put the closed caption on and I just read it.
So the
That's
thing from
me.
Amazon,
Oh, yes.
that's to attach it, right?
Yes, thank you. I forgot totally about this. What this is just a glue. It is just a glue. Let me spotlight it again.
I think I put it in my,
Yeah, it's by Beacon. And let's see if I can get some light. There you go.
attach.
Attach.
It's
And
it's 709 on Amazon.
okay, that's probably what I paid for it. And then you just put it on the back of your patch,
Uh-huh.
and then it heat sets. So if you put it on a backpack or something, like that, a cap, baseball hat or that sort of thing, then you can
Just
iron
iron
it.
it.
You know what I saw a real cute idea too was patches on shoes.
Oh,
Oh,
So that was cute.
Yeah.
And it's permanent. It's not coming off.
Cool.
oh.
So
So
make
once you
sure
have it on, it stays.
you want them on those shoes.
It's actually 29% off right now. It's retail for $9.99. It's $709.
What?
Okay.
And you'll get it by Friday.
The patch attached?
Cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
ordered it on Monday. It came the next day. Came yesterday.
What is today?
Yeah.
Today is
Now I wanted to,
Tuesday.
there was something else I wanted to show you. Let me see if I can find it in my notes. Because that was kind of fun. Oh, I know. My Sonnet. Yes. My Sonnet has 25% off of all designs
Really?
till February 25th. So let me go into my Sonnet.
You don't have to be, but you have to be a member.
No. And let me share the screen.
If they have any travel things, you
They're
can make a patch for your trip.
Yeah, they have airplanes and all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
they do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I knew about this before my trip.
Well, I did it as fast
You
as I
got more
could.
trips, girl. You got lots more trips
Yeah,
coming.
this is not the
Yeah.
last trip you're on.
Oh, good.
But I wanted to show you the free designs that there were a couple of patches. It's Disney.
Oh,
That
Disney. Okay, I'm on my sign now. Where's the free?
well, you have to go into the categories or type in free in the search button.
Oh, free.
That's
Okay.
free. You have it. You have to have your subscription if you want to use it now. Okay, here's one that says icon.
It says who? Oh,
Okay, but the one I wanted, I gotta make is queen.
oh dear.
But that's about a little over 3 inches is what that patch is. Looks like this when it's stitched out. See?
Oh, that's
Adeline, will it
cool.
allow you to take
That's-
off that copyright in Disney in a year? Can you edit the stitches at all?
Yes, in the software.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do all that, right? Once you buy something, Alma, you can do whatever you want to it. So there were, let's see if there's anything I can find in travel. There's a suitcase.
Oh.
Look,
Oh, what
there's
gator?
there's a badge trapezoid. There's one already made for you. They were circles on where would those have been?
And since I'm gonna be here for the next 3 months, maybe I'll subscribe.
You actually should.
I know I'm not gonna be any place till, well, April, but it'll just be for a few days.
They had a backpack with these circles. They were bigger patches though. They were like the one that we made on that mesh bag. Do you know what I'm talking about?
On that beach bag.
Yeah.
Was it the
was
beach
that.
bag?
Yeah, it was that size. Yeah. I don't.
Oh, wow.
There's some
The
coasters.
Coasters.
Yeah.
Oh, the coasters are cute. I
Yeah.
never thought of making coasters.
There, that's what that
Yeah.
patch looks like.
Oh, that's pretty.
And that, what'd they call it? Here they are.
Oh, they put it on a fanny pack.
Yeah, there it is. National Parks, it's called.
Oh, okay.
But so it's applique and a patch and all that other stuff. So there were several of those national parks that you might find something. But don't forget, you can go into any other design and download that too and put them in
Oh,
your.
that's true. I'm good at
Yeah.
doing that.
That's how I found that Adventure Awaits has a bear too. So let's see, what if I look for a bear? We did see a bear at Yosemite. There's a bear. Teddy bears.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
there's
need
all kinds of stuff.
kids. Ugh.
There it is.
There he is. Yep.
See?
Oh,
So that would be a good patch too. Okay. Any other questions? At the bottom, it's supposed to show other patches, but it doesn't. There's
oh,
broccoli.
food.
All right, let's see what there, messenger bag there. There's another one.
Ooh.
That's the project that they had with that big patch. Okay.
That's really pretty.
Okay.
So as long
Uh-oh.
as as long as you can bring it,
Projects.
yeah, as long as you can bring it over into your, as long as it's a VP3, then you can bring it over. So, and you could probably resize it. You just have to be real careful with some of these designs that someone else has digitized, because they're not always going to work, right, Terry?
Mhm.
So,
Okay,
okay.
Okay.
All right. One patch. Just
one patch.
Do we have a
One
deadline?
patch.
I'll have it by
Okay.
next Friday.
It
Oh,
could
you're an
be,
overachiever.
yeah,
I know.
Yes,
could
she
be-
is.
it could be the sew one, and I'll send you the machine file. So it could be that sewing machine file.
Oh, that would be cute.
Okay.
And you could put your
I like the
name on
coffee
it,
one.
like Carol's Place or something like that, something along those lines.
So where do we send this to?
Me.
Oh,
Well, where are you?
My first and last name. Right? First and last
oh, we could put our name on our bags. Our
Yeah,
sewing,
there. Oh, you could make a key, yeah, a name tag.
our name tag for our
Yeah.
bag.
There you
For
go.
when they go
There
in
you
the
go.
shop.
Yep,
What?
that's right. All right, there's your homework. So, Catherine, it's Adeline Brill, lowercase. My first and last name, lowercase, at gmail.com.
Okay.
I have nothing. Oh, sorry.
And Catherine, if you want to, I don't wanna, you can share it on our Facebook page too, if you would like to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Show the-
pressure.
Yeah. Show the other ladies what you have learned.
What they missed out on.
and then
Yep.
what they missed
Right.
out on, right?
Well, that's
I'll make
pressure,
mine
but I'll
now.
get that done.
I'll
Okay,
make mine now and I'll send it to you.
all right, and then you can stitch it out. So the difference is once you get this far, skip the satin stitch. Can you see what I'm showing you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Skip the satin stitch, put another piece behind it. Then trim, put your fabric in the front and do this embroidery, your name and your sewing machine. Skip the satin stitch, number 3, put the piece on the back, and then do the number 3. And I'll make a little recording and show you.
Okay.
Where's the
Okay.
best place to buy that stabilizer? Do you have a recommendation on that?
Do you have a sewing store in your area?
I don't know. I just moved here. I don't know.
Where are
I'm
you?
lost.
You're lost?
I know one road. It's
You know-
like how to get to the grocery store. I have been unpacking. And then I work remotely, so I don't get out much. I was plopped here and I
Okay.
don't know. This is like
Call-
a foreign, I
Wow.
live in a foreign place at this point.
Okay.
It's not like where I came from, so it's
Call,
strange.
yeah, call the store, Scrap and
You-
Sew,
Okay.
813 749 0888. So there's 3 8s after the 0.
Where are you located?
Tampa.
You're in Tampa?
Mm-hmm.
Where you
I'm-
at?
I'm in Land O'Lakes.
I'm in
right by
Land
the
O'Lakes.
store.
Where are
Where
you in,
I
Where?
live in,
What?
I live in Del Webb.
where?
He won't know
Del
that.
Webb.
Yeah.
I know, I
Bex-
don't know that.
What?
Yeah,
What?
Where
Where do
Bexley
you
is?
live?
I live in a Stonegate
Oh my God,
community.
you're right near
Oh,
me.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank goodness.
You're right
My-
down the street from the store.
Yeah.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very close.
Just go down 54.
Oh, I know, 54, I know.
Go.
You know where
Do I have to make the mad dash across the street?
No, there's a stoplight.
Oh, thank God.
you know where the Publix on Sun Lake in 54 is?
Yes. That's,
Okay. Well, basically, you're right near me, and I
oh
live
my,
3 miles from Scrap and Sew.
Tampa's that close to me?
No,
Yeah.
Well,
we're
it's
not in
Lutz.
Tampa.
It's
We're in
loose.
Lena Lakes.
Lutz.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Lutz.
So
Okay,
bottom
so-
line is you carry this product.
yes, we carry everything, yeah. Mhm.
Are you in the
Oh.
store on Friday, Adeline?
I am in the store tomorrow and Friday. Mhm.
Tomorrow, okay.
Yeah,
Could I have a store address?
sure.
I have
One-
GPS.
16541
6541.
North Point Village,
Okay.
and it's Lutz, Florida,
Okay.
33588. Have you been to the Sun Coast yet? The Parkway?
No, oh no. Oh no, I've been to the Publix and then I've been to the Walmart. I've been to the Publix, the Walmart. I ventured down, I needed Home Depot. That was further down than the Walmart. That's it.
Okay,
Basically,
Friday I have to get a driver's, the license plate changed.
just
So,
just reach
You could-
out to me. I will help you. I'd be happy to help you.
It's
Um,
easy to get to from where you are.
Yeah, very easy. My son lives in Stonegate.
you're kidding.
No, he lives on Falling Rock Drive.
He could be my neighbor.
He could.
I'm
very
your
well be.
neighbor.
Mhm.
I
Well,
live-
but I live on Falling Rock Drive too.
Wow.
No kidding.
No, no.
He's almost to the end of the street where it dead ends into the wall.
So am I.
Could be
What-
neighbors.
We could be, what's your son's name?
Brill, Robbie Brill.
Okay,
Yep.
so he's not my direct neighbor. He's like probably 2 doors down.
Well,
I'm
I
like
have
5 or 6 from the end.
5 or so. Okay, he's directly across the street from that corner, and I don't know what that street is called. So,
I don't either.
well, he's there. I could not tell you the number of his house though, but I
Yeah,
know how to get there.
excellent,
mind.
excellent. And Yvonne, you're very close to me too.
Yeah, you're very close because the Publix is where I go grocery shopping.
Oh, nice. Well, I probably walked into you one day when I was aimlessly wandering around.
We can meet at Starbucks for coffee.
We
You know where
could, we
Starbucks
could.
is?
No,
Okay, Starbucks is right across the street from you just go
Sun
across
Lake.
the lake and
Mhm.
it's right there where the what's that
Mission
name?
Barbecue.
It's right next to Mission Barbecue.
okay. That I did see Mission Barbecue.
Okay,
Yeah,
you gotta
we're-
go a
yeah.
little bit further down and you can't miss North Point Village. It's across the street from that big sign that says Bexley. You're gonna turn left.
Wow. I actually know people here now.
Yes, you do. And you just come to the store and you'll know a lot more.
I'm
Excellent.
taking the class next Friday. I'm taking the class next Friday to do the towel.
Do the towel. I don't know that I can. I have to check my teaching schedule. What are the hours of the class?
10:30 to 1:30.
All right. I gotta come into the store because I need
That's
that
right.
stuff. So yeah.
Mhm.
All
You'll be
That's all
right.
you have to do.
overwhelmed.
What'd you say?
You'll be overwhelmed when you go in the store.
No, I'll probably feel like I'm at home. I mean, it's, talk about feeling isolated. But anyway,
Oh.
thanks.
You'll probably see Alma and myself in the store too every once in a while, 'cause we're from Spring Hill,
And where's that in relation to
north,
North? Okay.
north.
And I'm
North
just
of
down
you.
the street from you.
Who said that?
Anna,
Anna, you are?
yeah, I'm by the Parkway and I'm like 5 minutes from the store.
By the oh, okay. So you're in
The
that
Parkway and
direction.
54, yeah.
Got it.
And I'm 3 miles from the store.
That's so funny. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
No,
Small world.
it is. It is. I mean, well, you sit there and Facebook is just so none of you are on Facebook, on that Facebook group.
What Facebook group?
Yeah, it's
I know.
the store's Facebook group. And
I guess I'm not on it.
no, because you have
And actually what happened was it's a FAF icon
Mhm.
group. And
Oh,
I
I'm
just
on that.
posted the question I needed to know. And they said, oh, Adeline will do this. And sure enough, Adeline did this. And